Good morning. Happy Monday. We are back in the building. I am learning Restream. Still haven't figured it out fully, but I'm still coming through with that strength in you, coming with the vibe, and I'm gonna figure out how to show you all of my stuff that I got going on here. All the different segments and everything like that. But we are back, honey love. We are back with the flavor and we are back with information and motivation and inspiration and encouragement. Yes, I'm in my car because I'm always moving because God got involved and gave me things to do, places to be, people to see. Those the moves. But yeah, we got things that we need to talk about and discuss because um, time is not waiting on nobody. And the more you know, the more you grow. And knowledge is power, right? Each one's supposed to reach one. And then they actually supposed to teach one. Don't keep it to yourself. Okay? It's so important that you share the knowledge you pertain, that you get so that again we can empower generations after us. Cause they already on top of stuff that we're not quite ready for. Yeah, it's just kind of what it is. They've been exposed to some information, and so they've been doing things that we're not quite doing yet, some of us. But I needed to get this podcast back popping because everybody needs a little joy in their life. That's just what it is. You can't stop that. God made me awesome. So that's what it's all about. But I kind of think while now I'm going to see if it shows. Let me see. I don't have my stuff ready because I'm in the car. Like I said, I got moves to make. But that wasn't going to stop no show because, again, information, right? But let me just test. It didn't do it. Let's find out. The word of the day. What? Okay. It didn't play right. Let's check. When was that? We ain't gonna worry about it. Anywho, first of all, I said all what I said, but know that it's a Monday, and you're gonna start your day with a little bit of joy and a little bit of energy and a vibe, right? Because most Mondays are dragging, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's a Monday. How do we get here so fast?" You're dragging a little bit, but no, it's Monday, so feel good that it's a Monday, and you blessed. You made it through the Sunday. It's good. It's a vibe. So you're gonna start with a little joy, and we're gonna raise some awareness. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna share my story just a little bit because again, knowledge is power. And if I can help somebody from being in this situation, I'm winning. So share this thing so we can start spreading the news because it's important. People think that stroke is for old people, and it ain't for old people. People think that stroke only happens to people who are unhealthy, or people who are not taking care of themselves, or people, who smoking cigarettes and all that stuff. That's part of it. But at the end of the day, we have to remember that DNA plays a part. And my stroke was due to DNA and me being stupid. So my mom died from a stroke when I was 10. She had an aneurysm. My dad actually, my dad also actually had a stroke. God is good because he's still in the building. Yes, praise Jesus. But no, I had to make this known and make it plain and make it clear because like I said, I wouldn't want nobody in this position. It's not an easy position to be in. So we're back and I'm telling you about awareness of stroke because next month is stroke awareness month. But yeah, no, let's change it and let's talk about it because let me tell you my story, right? Y'all know, South Side of Chicago, born and raised. The city raised me. But like I said, my mom had a stroke when I was 10. But I didn't understand what that looked like. I didn't understand how to prevent it. I didn't understand Nothing, because I was young, and then the older I got, I was still young, but I was dumb. And what was I doing? I was smoking a lot of cigarettes. Meaning, after every time I smoke a blunt, I smoked a cigarette. And that was stupid. But I didn't know that was stupid. I was just trying to be in with the in crowd. The in crowd was my older siblings and my older family members. I've watched them smoke cigarettes, drink, and do other things. So what did I do? Smoke weed, smoke cigarettes, and I drank. I did all those things. And it got heavier and heavier over time because, of course, I had inner trauma that I didn't deal with. Because why? Black people don't do therapy. That's the lie. That's the myth. That's the thing that was told to me, and I actually believed it, and I actually listened, and I didn't get the help that I needed to be okay. So, in the midst of all of my traumas that I was dealing with, I was smoking cigarettes, and at one point, I won't say I was a chain smoker because I never smoked a whole pack of cigarettes like in a week, but I smoked enough cigarettes, and my logic was I smoked Newport 100s, and then I'll put half of it out for after my blunt was done, and so I can have that part. So that was my logic. Like if if I just smoke half the cigarette, it ain't as bad as smoking the whole cigarette. Eh, it's just as bad as smoking the rest of the cigarette because you got the end that got the carbon monoxide even more, but it ain't even no breakdown about cigarettes. The whole point is I had inner trauma that made me do other things that caused trauma to my body. That's usually how the game works, right? You going through stuff internally, and so then you feel like you should go to other things externally instead of going to God. So that's kind of what I did. I smoked a lot, and then at one point, um I started working out because I didn't like how my body looked, and I wanted to start getting healthy. I live in Colorado now, and I'm watching these people take these hikes, and I'm watching people go for jogs, and I'm just watching people, and I was like, this is what Uncle Ruckus was talking about the white people running around smelling like lemon pledge. Like, it was just fantastic to see. So I was like, I want to be a part of that world. So then I got into working out, and then um it was told to me, you don't need that medication for real. If you just really start working out and drinking a lot of water, you'll be good. So that's exactly what I did. I still kept smoking cigarettes. I still kept drinking. I still kept smoking a lot of blunts. Not even joints. They were blunts. And blunts got the same property as cigarettes. So that's almost like smoking extra cigarette, like just smoking a whole cigar. And you're not actually meant to inhale the cigar. So that was dumb on my part again. So I'm smoking blunts, smoking cigarettes, drinking, going to the gym, all bad combinations because I'm closing up my capillaries with the cigarettes and all the smoking. But then I'm gonna go to the gym and try to expand them. I'm about to blow my life up. I didn't even realize it. But that's kind of what I did. And that's kind of how my stroke came to pass. And it came to pass, at 31. Like I said, people think this is an old person thing, but it is not. And I am proof. I was 31 years old, and when it happened, I was at home with my kids. They were 2 and 5 at the time. Um, and not only did my life change, but their life change. Stroke don't just impact the person who had the stroke. It actually impacts everybody in the family because they have to stop what they're doing to take care of your life, or they have to deal with you emotionally or mentally or physically. It's just a lot of things that come with it. So that's why raising this awareness is one of the greatest keys to unlock the doors to health and to the numbers decreasing, because the more I share my story of how I was stupid and kind of caused my own stroke, the more we can change somebody else's life and hopefully they don't have a stroke. But although it changed my life at first in some of the worst ways, it actually made me a better person. So anyway, let me continue this story. Because like I said, stroke don't discriminate. That's what this is all about. Like I said, it don't care about your color, your sex, your creed. It don't care about none of those things that the rest of this world seems to be focused on. It don't even care about your ability. Stroke just come in like a thief in the night and will steal your life. And you'll be like, well, what the hell? And that's just what it is. But again, it's only a bad thing if you perceive it as such. So everything is about perception at the end of the day. So if you perceive it bad, that's exactly what it's going to be. So for me, like I said, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. But again, stroke brain, let me continue this story. So I didn't understand what stroke was. So when my mom died, I was 10 years old and I just went on with life. Of course, I was sad about my mama, but I just kept fighting, literally fighting, because Chicago had me fighting. But I didn't know what I didn't know, so I proceeded with life as a normal kid who think that they're invincible, and so I kept smoking cigarettes, and it got worse because again, after every blunt, in between the blunts, here come a cigarette because it was said if you smoke a cigarette after you smoke a blunt, it'll boost your high. So stupid old Joy wanna boost her high, not because she needed it, but because it was the thing to do with the in crowd. And then on top of that, my inner trauma that I hadn't dealt with had me just smoking. I wanted to stay high so I wouldn't think about my pain. And the pain wouldn't go away after I got high. It's just I was too high to care about it. But again, that's not good. So that's how it proceeded to follow me to Colorado. Those habits followed me and they went with me for a long time. So, like I said, at 31, God got involved and said, "You're not listening. Let me help you wake up." Boom. Cause mind you, before my stroke actually happened, when I was 26, I was 26 years old, and my husband bought a house, and we was coming to move in. Wait, I don't think I was 26. I might be lying. I think I am lying. I think we were, I was 29 or 30, one of them numbers, but I can't keep up with it. Anywho, he bought a house and had to go to work. So I was supposed to be the one to go get the key. So packed my kids up in the car. My baby at that time was only one. So that means my oldest was 4. Yep, it was a year before my stroke. This is when God tried to wake me up again. Because for years, I was having headaches. And every time I would go to the emergency room, it was always my blood pressure. And they was like, you got to take your medicine. But they kept switching my medicine. So again, stupid, stop taking my medicine. Every time they give me medicine and tell me to take it, I will stop. Why? Because number one, I was stupid. Number two, because they kept switching it. And so since they kept switching my medicine, uh, I was like, I don't want to be the guinea pig. So I stopped taking my medicine. So a year before my stroke, I actually, like maybe a year and a half actually, I was taking my kids to Wendy's before I was going to pick up this key for the house. I go in through the drive-through. Now, while in this drive-through, I order the food, all the other stuff, and they always give you your pop first because you're waiting on your food to get packed in the bag, so they hand you your drinks first. So they give us our pops, and back then I drank Pepsi. I used to drink Pepsi like everybody else. So sip this Pepsi after I give my kids their Pepsi. And one of my neighbors at the time, whose name is Gabe, was in the car with me. He was going with me to get the house key and all that stuff. So, get the Pepsi, sip the Pepsi. Something happened to my insides to where my whole right side, well, not my whole right side, but my left stomach cramped up really, really bad. And so I took a few deep breaths. I was cool, whatever. Next thing I know, I didn't know. I passed out behind the wheel. I think I had a TIA right then, but I didn't again. I didn't think none of it, and I was stupid. I'd rather go get this house key than go check and find out what's going on with me. That ain't important. Because, we taught that we'll be all right, and if it ain't bleeding and it ain't broken, you ain't dead, you all right. These are things that we were taught as kids, which is why I don't teach none of those things to my children, because I broke myself a lot with that logic because I just had to be strong. I mean, it worked out to a degree because that's what helped mold me now. I'm so strong because life is gonna be life, and I'll get over it. That's kind of I'm working on that mentality. But anyway, um, I didn't want to go to the emergency room when I passed out behind the wheel, and my car rolled into the middle of the street. And luckily, God blessed me because the cars they wasn't close to me. I was able to turn around and still start driving. So God has been protecting me for a long time. And I didn't even recognize even then because my faith wasn't strong then. I was too broken to think that God had anything to do with anything because he let me be molested. He let my mama die. He let so many other things happen that just made me not think about God in that aspect. But as time went on and I realized what is, I recognized that that was God that protected me and my kids and my friend when my car rolled off into a three-section interstate. I could have been gone, but that light that was green, there was no cars crossing it. So thank you, Lord. But to continue with this his story, uh, where was I? Oh, so this car rolled up to the middle of the street. I continue with life. I drives off and go get the house key. So my husband asked me, "Do you want to go to the emergency room?" I said, "Nope, I'm all right. It ain't broke. I ain't bleeding. I ain't dead." That was my logic. So didn't go to the hospital. So God was good. He kept me because my dumb butt kept doing what? Smoking cigarettes, drinking, smoking blunts. I was smoking blunts hard too, y'all. The blunts, listen, I could sit and just smoke blunts, a multitude of blunts. I think at one point I was in a rotation at a party, and it was like 4 to 6 blunts in rotation, and I was in the middle of all of them just kicking it. And yeah, I didn't even go down for the count. But anyway, I'm not bragging about smoking the blunts. I'm actually saying that was my issue, my problem. I hadn't dealt with my trauma, so I was smoking all these blunts to act like it wasn't there. But anywho, continue. Kept smoking blunts, kept smoking cigarettes, kept drinking, and kept going to the gym. Kept doing all these things like I was going to be okay and I wasn't going to need nothing because I just wasn't going to need nothing. Something made me special. When nothing really didn't make me special, I was just an idiot. So, kept doing those things. And then a year later is when life got real, real. And God said, "You play too much. I've been trying to tell you and show you that I need you to do something. So this you're gonna do it this way then." And so here I am. He saved me, he blessed me. So on August 5th, 2014, in the midst of cleaning my house, I was shampooing these carpets. I don't know what was going on with my body, but it just didn't feel like my body. So I called my husband at work and I said, "Hey, I don't know what's going on with me, but I don't feel right." I said, "I can't tell you what's going on because I really just don't know, but I don't feel good." This is how I know God got involved because my neighbors at the time was in my garage fixing my truck because it was stupid too. But they was in my garage fixing my truck. So after I had called my husband, he said, "Okay, I'll call you back." He called my neighbors to let them know to come and check on me. But by the time they got to me, this is what I had went through. I went through shampooing this carpet, and then I turned the thing off because my leg fell asleep. So I stomped on my leg to wake it up. It woke back up at that time. So I was like, "Ooh, I must be hungry," because I just started cleaning. I didn't eat. I didn't do nothing else. I just started cleaning. So I was like, "Let me go eat some food." So I went downstairs to go in the kitchen to get something to eat. Well, when I got down there, I got the kids a snack so they can sit down because they had been following me while I was cleaning. So gave them, I think, a fruit snack, if I remember right. I gave them a fruit snack and something else. And then I grabbed some water and I sat down. And I said, "Oh, I'm so tired." As soon as I sat down, my bladder was like, "I'm giving up," because I had to go to pee. So as soon as I stood up to go pee, I collapsed. I remember the pee coming out. And I remember the vomit coming out. I couldn't do nothing about nothing. And my babies was just there, afraid at they freaking mind because they had to see what mommy had to do to endure. They had to endure it too. So I um I was just in a pool of my own urine and my own vomit. And my husband called me back. But by the end, it's a wrap for me. My cognitive is fading away fast. And I have no movement of nothing because I just didn't know how to do nothing. So when my husband called me, there was no answering the phone for Joy. But luckily, God again blessed me. My boys was with me, 2 and 5 years old. My 5-year-old Javen answered the phone and said, "Mommy's on the floor and she needs help." And that's what he said to my husband. And that part of the story I got from somebody else. Of course, I don't remember that because I wasn't cognizant to know a thing. But okay, so mommy needs help. Now, what I can tell you that I do remember is my neighbor, her name was Holly. Shout out Holly. Um, she said, "Stick your tongue out." And I guess I attempted to do so. And she said, "You're having a stroke." I still hadn't quite processed that. I didn't know what that meant. Although, my mom had a stroke, but I my brain was slow. It couldn't process none of that. So they called the ambulance and I'm in there, and all I can remember about that whole ordeal is my left arm still had enough motion to wail. You know how you just throwing your arm everywhere. That's what my left arm was doing. Excuse me. I remember beating up a nurse, not literal, but like with my arm. And I kept willing it, saying, "I want to go home. I want to go home." I guess that I don't know how long that continued, but all I know is I woke up with nothing. I woke up unable to talk. I woke up unable to swallow. I woke up unable to do what I had learned to do as a kid. I woke up without that. My face was drooping. I was slobbing real bad. And at first, my eyes would just shift because I couldn't focus. I had I had lost the capacity to look straight. Well, no, I'm lying. I had lost the capacity to look left. I looked straight, but I guess what I was seeing wasn't what I was seeing, if that makes sense. I wasn't in my right mind, so I wasn't seeing what I thought I saw. And so and everything to my left was non-existent. And I don't know if it was because it was it was numb and paralyzed or what it was, but I had a thing that they refer to as left side neglect, where the left side, like I said, did not exist. So that first, I don't know, I think I spent the first 3 days in like a coma, and then the next few weeks, I just remember uh, not much of nothing. Honestly, I just remember being. I can't tell you I remember eating. I can't remember trying. I can't remember the bathroom, sleep. I can't remember nothing about that part of my life. But I remember being transferred to another part of the hospital. And I remember laying in that bed extremely angry. I was mad at God because, they say when you go through things that God lets you go through things to bring you closer to Him, to draw you nearer. So I was angry, but of course that drew me nearer. And at least I felt something for Him. You know what I mean? Because thanks to being forced as a kid to go to church, I didn't love God because I loved God. You know what I mean? I was forced in church because grandma said so, which wasn't authentic enough to make my love real. So it took for me to go through what I went through in order for me to find my love for God and my appreciation for life and my love for people again, because people have violated me, so I definitely didn't have no love for them. But it's real if you allow it, and you allow Him to use you. uh, your your faith will grow, your spirit will change, your energy will do something different. There'll be a real shift in your life because you'll be open to what it is that God has put in front of your face. It's there on purpose with purpose, but if you're not open to receive it, it's a pointless purpose. But here we go. Um, it drew me nearer, and for those first few weeks in that new part of the hospital, that rehab part, I was like, woe is me. Why to me, God? Why you do this to me? Why you steal my life? I was sad, and I was woe is me. But then my wonderful, beautiful, beautiful sister, shout out to Yolanda Wisby, aka Color. She asked me a question that changed my life forever. And she said, why not you? And I was like, what? Who want to go through this? And she said, no, really, why not you? What makes you so special that you don't get to go through nothing? God went through stuff, and then I don't know, something happened in my brain. I can't fully tell you. I guess God drop kicked me with her words. Pow! You heard her? That's what He said. He said, did you hear what she said when she said it? And I said, okay, Jesus, I'm listening. And He said, I went through all that stuff and even died for your sins on the cross with nails in my feet and my arms. How you think I felt? You ain't so special. You can't go through nothing. So then I started thinking different. I started realizing the positive side of my stroke. That's when strength was born, and she became somebody different. And it was, yeah, why not me? I started feeling like I was a superhero with a superpower because everybody didn't make it. That's why I say stuff like I say all the time now, because these are true things. Everybody didn't make it. So that's why I'm always so positive. People like, I'm faking it, but you fake it till you make it. But I'm not faking the positivity. I had this epiphany while I was in that hospital and recognized I could have been dead. God saved me, and I praise God, and I'm so grateful because He literally saved me on purpose with purpose. The more I thought about it, and I was just like, I didn't get to save mama after she had her stroke when I was 10, But my kids were 2 and 5 and still had the ability to say mom. So that was the power. That was the strength being born right there. It was like those kids saw me fall. They're gonna watch me rise. Ain't no way in hell that I'm gonna let this opportunity of reinvention, of rediscovery, of renew pass me by. So now I have the strength through recover. Now I have the strength through recovery over needing emotions. So I'm redefining what it means to be a stroke survivor. Because again, everybody didn't make it. That's when I realized God got something for me, and whatever it is actually greater than me. And that's why it's taking a little time to get to where I needed to be, because it has to be molded, it has to be shaped, and I have to be ready for it. So he getting me ready for it like he's preparing it for me. So I'm trying to well, I'm not trying, I am choosing happiness, and I am choosing positivity, and I am choosing to be a light, and I am choosing to be what he gave me, which is a joy. Everybody needs a little joy. So my name is what it is, and that's the one thing that my stroke can steal from me. So it's like we had to raise some awareness about this thing and really teach people. And that's why, once again, I'm sharing my story, because knowledge is power. And, stroke happens to women more than it happens to men. I don't wouldn't tell you why fully, but I do know in the stroke community, it affects women more than men, and most don't make it. But most strokes are actually preventable. So if you do certain things like take your medicine, the one thing that I didn't do, don't just stop because you tired of them switching it up on you. Don't just stop because you think I can just start working out and taking care of myself, and then I don't need that medicine. You let your doctor wing you off what you need. But medicine is just like your car. It's a tool to get you where you need to be. So it gets you where you need to be with your levels. I don't even know what to call them levels, but uh well, I seem like anyway, um that's what medicine is. People think that these things are a problem. And don't get me wrong, it's not good to just be taking medicine forever and ever if you can do something about it. But this is where it does come in handy for you to exercise, to drink water, to eat more vegetables, and to do what's necessary to keep your capillaries big enough so where your blood can flow properly, because that's part of what it is. It's those closed capillary veins. I don't think I said that right, but it's those closed capillaries that causes strokes. So it's important that you keep them open. So that's why it's important that you do take your medicine and listen to your doctor. Because again, most strokes are actually preventable if we do our part. Okay? Our part just comes from you doing the right things. Go to your doctor at least annually. But if you can, go every 6 months. And the older you get, you may even want to break that down to every 3 to 4 months, because the struggle is real and stuff creeps up on us and we don't even recognize that's what's going on. And we just go through life like everything is cool, and it don't be cool. It's like, focus. Do proper things for yourself. You have to help your doctors help you. You can't just be and think that you're going to live a healthy, good life. It's just unfortunately not how it works. So, um, that is part of the awareness part, is for you to know better so you can do better. And the biggest factor is smoking cigarettes. Man, if you can. And vaping really ain't no better. Let me be clear about that. Um, I'm not saying this because I quit, because I did. Thank you, Lord. I quit. I got that monkey off my back. But but I'm saying it because it's the facts. Smoking in general ain't good for you. Whether it's blunts, whether it's cigarettes, whatever you smoking, smoke. The smoke is what closes the vessels. So you want to keep those open so they can breathe, right? Just like anything, your lungs. If you can't breathe, you're gonna die. So I mean, if your capillaries can't breathe and it can't flow, you gonna die. So that's kind of what it is. So that's the kind of stuff you're gonna get on a regular basis on this podcast in general, not just about stroke, but about life, because um, life happens to everybody. You don't have to be a person of to have life go to have life you. Life will always be itself. But when life shows up, how do you show up for life? Are you excited? Are you doing what's necessary to live a good, fulfilled life? Because I want that for you. This is why I am trying to just change the game. And again, this episode in particular is about stroke not discriminating. This thing will not discriminate. It does not care. It's not like people. Okay? It won't pick and choose. It ain't gonna choose a neighborhood. It ain't gonna choose a a class of people depending on how much money you got. It legit don't care nothing about you. You can think you the prettiest, the most handsome, the finest thing walking. Stroke don't care about you, not even a little bit. So if you out here and all you doing is consuming processed foods, all you doing is putting a lot of hot sauce on all your stuff. All you doing is putting ham hocks in everything. All you doing is sitting down watching TV all day expecting a change to come. You are asking for a stroke. Okay? I'm not trying to scare nobody. I'm just trying to educate as many people as I possibly can. Because again, you heard part of a story. It ain't fun. It wasn't fun to try to learn how to swallow again, choking on everything because you couldn't even swallow a piece of ice. You had to let it melt. Because you ain't know how to, the little thing that they give you at the hospital, you couldn't swallow water. That wasn't fun. To try to learn how to talk again and everything drooling, and I had to sing my words to get them out. It wasn't fun. To try to learn how to walk and somebody saying, kick your foot. So now, even to this day, 10 years later, that's in my brain program. So I have to remind myself, lift your knee, lean left, kick your butt. Because that's how you do an actual stride. But they taught me to kick. So for a long time, I would just kick my foot. And I still deal with this. So again, it's not fun. So I won't want nobody to be in this position. So again, this is why the information and the knowledge and you sharing these videos is extremely important. Because we got to do better. And the only way to do better is to know better. So we're knowing better in order to do better to pass the knowledge on, because stroke don't care about you. It don't care about your status, your stature, nothing about you. Whether you're a singer, a politician, a bum on the street, a prostitute, a pimp, it don't care about you. Whether you a gang banger, whether you a Christian, whether you Muslim, whether you Arab, it don't care about you. So you see how all these things we're focused on. It don't care whether you straight, you gay, you pansexual, you a foodie, or you a what? It's so a furry. These are things that's irrelevant because again, it does not matter. What it does care about is if you out here still smoking cigarettes. What it does care about is about your salt consumption. What it does care about is you taking your meds. What it does care about is you drinking a lot of water. What it does care about is you drinking a lot of alcohol. What it does care about if you got sleep apnea. What it does care about is if you're obese. What it does care about is if your diabetes are under control or not. All these things are a factor. These are the things that stroke care about, because that thing will steal your family. Okay? Families break up because of stroke. Kids leave. They disown you. Grandkids leave. Nieces and nephews leave. Friends leave. People leave from stroke. So you definitely want to go out of your way to be in your way to prevent stroke, because it don't care about you. Not even a little bit. It ain't gonna say, I'm gonna give her a stroke for a day. I'm gonna give her a stroke for a year. Nah, stroke is lifelong. Once it happens, it's there forever. You are always dealing with the effects or the residual of stroke. Because if you don't practice things to keep your mind sharp, those brain cells that you develop back, they will dissipate. If you don't work those muscles and those things that you got back, they will dissipate. So this is a lifelong process that don't just go away, which is why 10 years later, I'm still doing PT and OT every 3 to 6 months. And I do it with a smile and with positivity and grace and love. Because number one, I'm in the building. God got me on purpose with purpose. And I meet people all the time when I'm there who I inspire, which gives me a sense of purpose and hope. And it gives me joy to be a joy. And helping my therapist help me is always phenomenal. And getting every little gain and hearing them say, you got a little bit stronger, I'll take that little bit. Because a little bit and a little bit keep adding up to a lot of bit. And a lot of bit end up being something. And something from something makes something. So I'm about that something life. So it's important to do something. And to do it with a positive mind. Because everybody don't have the ability to do it. Everybody can't afford therapy. Everybody don't have the insurance for therapy. Everybody don't even want to do therapy. So I go in there with a smile. And I make sure my therapists know how much I value and appreciate them. Because without them, I know for a fact I wouldn't be here right now like this. Able to walk and talk and swallow and now jump. And I could jump literally at 180 and shift my weight. I can do a lunge. I can do these things. But I wasn't always able to. I started this thing without being able to walk, talk, swallow. And again, I don't want that for you. So this podcast is coming back with a word of the day. It's coming back with knowledge. It's coming back with awareness. It's coming back with um a vibe, because everybody don't get love. Everybody don't get good energy. Everybody don't have what you have. Remember that it's always somebody out here with a worse story. But don't focus on the worst, is my point. Focus on the good. And like I said, this thing don't have a billboard of people that it search out for. Stroke don't care about you. It don't care about your family. It don't care about the relationships you built. It don't care about the relationships you trying to keep. It don't care about your trauma. It don't care about your stress. It don't care about what you've been through. Stroke don't care about you. So I would never want you to be in this position because you felt like you was above your doctors telling you to take your medicine. You felt like you was above going for a walk. You felt like you was above taking the ham hocks out of your greens. You felt like you was above. Stop feeling like you're better than anybody and know that life can happen to anybody at any time, like it happened for me at 31. I don't want this to happen for you. That's why I'm out here trying to raise awareness about this stroke, because again, it does not discriminate. It don't care who you having sex with. It don't care about who you like and who you don't like. It don't care about nothing. It will come and take your life as if your life don't mean nothing, because it don't mean nothing to it. So don't let it blindside you. Don't do what I did. Don't in time and not doing these things because you to you. It can happen to anybody at any time. Fall back from smoking so many blunts, and so many cigarettes. If you can help it, by all means, fall back from. It's gonna take time, but with faith and work. So it's important again that we share this information, because stroke don't care about nobody. I told y'all, I know people who had strokes in utero, which means they were still in the womb. They came out with a deficiency, with an ailment. That's what no. They came out with a situation, because that's all it is. Life give you a bunch of situations, and how you gonna handle it when your situation comes? Because you thought that you was above anything. You're not. And yeah, I'm fussing just a little bit. Just a teensy. Because again, people keep thinking that they can't get it. But you can get it too. At any time, it can happen to you. I know people who had a stroke in their sleep. So you can be awake. I mean, you can be asleep and wake up to a situation. Can you imagine? I know people who had a stroke while they was driving. Could you imagine? I know people who had stroke while they at the gym. So again, stroke does not discriminate. So when I come and I'm giving you what I'm giving you, is because prevention is key. Period. And if we learn the history of stroke and other things, we can prevent it. We can save a life. And if you teach kids the signs, they can save a life. Because again, the faster you catch these symptoms of stroke, the better the chances are of you saving that life. Not having so many deficits. Deficits are things that could hinder the happiness of a person. Yeah. If you recognize that everything has its purpose, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, does not matter. Everything is on purpose with purpose. And everything ain't for us to even understand the purpose. It's up to us to trust the purpose, to walk in faith and walk in trust of the Lord and what He got for us. That's all it's about. So I'm trusting every bit of my pain. I'm trusting every bit of my trauma. I'm trusting every bit of this stroke to always come through with that strength in you. Because that's what I do. Strength in you, straight talk, will come always with love, honesty, integrity, nurturing. I don't even know how else to explain it, but I know it's here for you. I do what I do because I do it for you. I do it for us because we all need to be empowered. We all need to have hope. We all need to be courageous. We all need knowledge because even some stroke survivors don't even understand why they had a stroke. They just don't. But I'm here to tell you, most strokes are actually preventable. If you go to your doctor regularly, allow them to educate you of your need, to give you the medications that you need, to catch any early diagnosis, whether it's not stroke, but whether it's high blood pressure or diabetes or lupus or sleep apnea or Crohn's disease or whatever the situation is. Early detection is always the key. And most things are preventable if you just do what's necessary. And please, 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 my men, I love y'all. And I need y'all to love y'all. Don't wait till your neck is broke to go to the doctor. Don't wait till your intestines are falling out your butt to go to the doctor. Don't wait till you coughing up blood to go to the doctor. Go to the doctor on a regular basis, man. Okay? I know you don't like the doctor. I know you don't like them poking and prying and checking your nut sack, and I know you don't like that. But imagine how we feel being just laid on that thing, straddled up with our legs open, and they gotta go in there and scrape to make sure we don't have cervical cancer or nothing else. At the end of the day, it's not about us doing what we like. It's about us doing what we need. And we need to be more in tune with our bodies. We need to listen to our bodies. If you've been having a constant headache, your body is talking to you. It may not be high blood pressure, but it's something going on with the pressure in your head. So go find out. And there's a such thing as having a stroke in your eyes. So I know that it's annoying, especially if you don't have insurance because they charge you a grip. But look for resources to get a discount. They got all kind of stuff out here in general. And if you got to pay it, that means you must got the money to pay it if you don't have insurance. And if you got the money to pay for it, that means go buy you some health insurance and get what you need. Stop focusing only on the things that you want. And ladies, that part is for you as well. Because some of you are just as bad with going to the doctor. At least yearly, you should be yourself at the doctor. God gave God gave the doctors the knowledge to be able to help you. But if you don't help you, they can't help you. If you don't go in and let them see about you, they ain't gonna knock on your door. So that's what it's all about. You wanting to be better for you. You wanting to live, you wanting life, and you understanding that situations such as stroke don't discriminate. And they do not care about you. Remember that and know that. They don't care about you. So you got to care about you. Because it ain't going to try to save your life. You got to try to save your life. You got to be important enough to yourself. Because that's what that means when you take care of yourself. When you go to the doctor, that's part of self-care. Self-care is part of you loving yourself and taking care of yourself. After a certain age, mama can't force you. Daddy can't force you. Grandma can't force you. Pastor can't force you. Sister, brother, auntie, can't nobody force you but you to love you enough for you and do what's necessary for you. Before God have to draw you near in a different way. Don't let that happen. Love you. Feed yourself medicine that you need. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The soul is important. Feed it good things. Self-affirmations. Positive self-affirmations are mind-blowing. And they have the potential to save your life. That is part of you speaking life into yourself. So do that. Please do that. Ain't nobody else gonna love you like you supposed to love you except God. Call him by whatever name you want, but know that we all honoring the same God. We just got it under a different religion. Call it what you wanna. Unless his name's Satan, that ain't God. But I guess my biggest point is God loved you enough to give us doctors and medicine and things to help us be okay because he recognized that we all different. We're different. We all have a different ability. None of us have a disability, but we all have a different ability. And God knew that. Which is why we have so many different type of doctors and so many type of things, even to this day, still emerging. Like holistic and other things that's still emerging. Because God knew we all had different needs. But nevertheless, we all need. And we was going to all need somebody. We weren't meant to be here alone and do things alone, which is why there was an Adam and an Eve, his helpmate. That's what we all have. We all have a helpmate. Because none of us was meant to be here alone. And he said to multiply. Because he wanted us greater. Right? So, to get those things that was promised to you, like your helpmate and all those things, you have to be alive to get them, which means you got to do what God intended. So I'm going to leave you with this. Wear your crown with pride. Trust the process. Listen to your doctors. everything that comes your way is probably a tool to help you in some way or another. So know that you are loved. Speak love. Be positive. Never give in to giving up on yourself. Always come through with strength in you. And stay true to you. Next time we're going to come back and we're going to have all the different segments. But I wanted you to know that stroke does not discriminate. I love you. God loves you. Now you go love you more than anybody else can love you. Until Thursday, I'm coming on. Thursday, we're coming on with a special from Keywan. I hope I'm saying his name right. Keywan Amy. Oh Lord. Of course we just had that issue. Anywho, until next time, y'all, holla back.